Music was always in my life, even if it wasn't part of, the school program. I was fortunate when I was first growing up that they did have kind of musical teachers who would go around from school to school, and you could rent an instrument from the school district and learn how to play a little bit. 1970s were 60s and 70s, up until the disco era, was a pretty what you would call fecund time in music. There was a lot of hybridization, a lot of merging of styles and things like that. It was a pretty exciting time to be in music. That's when that would have been the prog rock era, I guess, the early days. And so there was a lot you could get away with. And then for a long time, that experimental side in music was not as commercially viable, I guess. But lately, things have gotten a lot more interesting because of the interactive possibilities of the internets and stuff, and how new artists can discover what each other is doing and springboard off of that and develop new things. And so I think that the evolution of computer technology has also helped a lot, because what used to be very expensive in terms of building a studio of some kind is now very accessible to most people. So it's a good time. The Spirit of Harmony Foundation was actually started at the behest of the fans. We had a party a fan party in New Orleans last year, and everyone felt like they wanted to do something for New Orleans since it had suffered so much from the hurricane. And so they all took up a collection, and we went down to a music school in the Lower Ninth Ward and gave them like a $10,000 giant check. And everyone felt so good about that particular exercise that they kind of, encouraged me to make it something more official. But we needed to have a unique mission. There's no point in duplicating what so many other people are doing. We're not interested in like amassing a giant bank account that we can dole money out from. It's much more easy from our standpoint to find a need and then connect it up with the necessary resources and monitor the results, as opposed to being a constant clearinghouse for money. So what we're more like is like eHarmony, we are like a dating service for, musical programs that are in need and resources that are looking to help those programs. We do already have a website, and I believe there's a place for people to post their ideas and stuff like that. And as I say, a lot of it is really just connecting people. Sometimes all they need is a mentor of some kind, or the name of someone at a particular, like a musical instrument company or something like that. It's pretty flexible in terms of what kind of resources we want to organize and how we direct them. So even if someone just wants to on a weekend go in and tutor a student somewhere, that's still within our purview. What we're not trying to do is go somewhere where they don't have any program at all and just start throwing tubas at them or something like that. That's it's not really our agenda, it's not our strength, but if someone has a program and the program is doing good work but struggling with something, then we will try and, step in and help them with whatever that issue happens to be. Whether it's a lack of instruments, we'll connect them with a supplier of instruments. If it's a lack of skilled mentoring or tutoring or something like that, we'll try and find people who are willing to come in and give lessons or conduct a band or whatever. It's as long as there's something for us to hang our hat on. We're not trying to create an oasis in the desert or create some sort of miracle. We're trying to help things that are already happening in a way. Part of what we're doing is to put some teeth into the idea that music is helpful to people, not just in terms of having something to do or something to play or even as a marketable skill, but it actually has learning to play music has an actual effect on the brain, and if you do it enough through the rest of your life, you have certain skills that you might not have otherwise. The sports program is good. It keeps kids engaged, and that's a good thing. We're certainly not against that. But learning music is actually more of an all-around skill, you know, that even if you don't continue to play music, if you learn enough of it, you learn things about perception and data processing and all this other stuff, you know, even if you don't become a rock star. So there's some great, really enthusiastic people. There are lots of people who, like you, are chomping at the bit to try and help us, and we're anxious to take advantage of that. We're not interested in taking whole bunches of money and then trying to figure out where it's supposed to go. We just need our operating expenses, and then we'll, you know, do our job, which is essentially to get people connected.